Dear students, making use of electric water pump, we fill up the overhead water tank. So at one end the water pump sends water into the pipe with some pressure, and the water falls and at the second end the water falls into the water tank. See, these are the 2 points you can consider. So at the starting point and the ending point, the pressure or cross sectional area or velocity of the flow, these may change. So regarding similarly, the water is drawn from underground and it is pumped to overhead water tank, that is at a height. So the height of the pipe also continuously changes. So this is an example. So here what we are considering, if a fluid is flowing through a pipe of varying cross section, in the diagram you can see its cross sectional area is continuously increasing and its height from the floor, from the ground, is also here less, here more, so increasing. Under such conditions, so we relate, we consider how the velocity is changing, how the pressure is changing, how it's the potential energy of fluid or the kinetic energy of fluid, how the energies are changing. We will be considering all these at 2 different points. See, it not necessarily the 2 end points. See here in the example I told is are the exact 2 end points. Here the motor pump is injecting water through the left side end, and here the water is poured into water tank from the right side end. So in this way you need not take 2 end points. You can take 2 points anywhere in between also. Here 1 point, here 2 point, like that. At any 2 points, you can select any 2 points along the streamline. And for this, Bernoulli scientist, he gave us a principle. What principle he gave? See, if you consider the fluid flowing through this pipe, since it is moving with some velocity, it will have some kinetic energy. And since it is at some height from the ground, it will have some potential energy. And it is under pressure, it will have some pressure energy. So what Bernoulli says, as we move along a streamline, the sum of pressure, kinetic energy per unit volume and potential energy per unit volume remains constant. And the same thing is written here. This is pressure, this is kinetic energy per unit volume, and this is potential energy per unit volume, and sum of the 3 energies is a constant. And if you consider 2 different points along the streamline, then you can say at one point sum of the 3 energies is equal to the sum of the 3 energies at another point. So now, so this is the statement of Bernoulli principle, and now we are going to prove that. And an important thing is, this principle is valid subject to the following conditions. 1. The fluid flow must be a steady flow. It should not be turbulent. Second one, non-viscous flow. So viscosity means we have considered friction between 2 solid bodies. When you slide a solid over a table or floor, the friction tries to stop that. Similarly, when a fluid is flowing through a pipe, the pipe wall tries to stop the fluid flow. So analogous to the friction, here we use the word viscosity. But there should be no viscosity, no friction between fluid and pipe. Now, third one, that fluid should be incompressible. It means what? It will not be compressed. Means you cannot decrease its volume. So if you cannot change its volume, its density remains constant, because density is equal to mass by volume. See, if volume cannot be decreased, density cannot be increased. Anyhow, mass is constant. So for incompressible fluid, volume is constant, therefore density also constant at any point. So when these three conditions are fulfilled, we can prove the Bernoulli principle. Now let us prove the principle. You look at the left side end, its cross-sectional area is A1 and fluid is entering with V1 velocity, and this end is at a height of h1 from floor, and here the fluid is sent into the pipe with some pressure P1. And you look at, see here, in delta t time, the fluid, this shaded region shows you the fluid content entering into the pipe. How can you find? See here, v means velocity and time period. When speed into time gives distance. So in the beginning the fluid was here, and after delta t seconds the fluid came here. It means it has occupied a length L1 in delta t time. The distance or length is equal to speed into time. Similarly, if we consider the second end, here, say the pressure is P2, its cross-sectional area is A2, and fluid is coming out with V2 velocity. Since here fluid is having V2 velocity, in delta t time, how much distance it travels? Speed into time gives the distance traveled. So here this end is at a height of h2 from the floor. Now, to send a fluid into the pipe, our electric motor pump does some work on the fluid. So work is done on the fluid here. Work is done on the fluid. We do work and pump the fluid into the pipe. Here the fluid comes out itself. It means here the work is done by the fluid. Here work is done on the fluid. Here work is done by the fluid, because fluid itself is coming out. Okay. Now shall we calculate the work done? Work done on the fluid. Let us calculate work done on the fluid. Okay, the general formula for work done is force into displacement. Force into displacement. And when we defined pressure, how we defined pressure? Pressure is normal force by area, force per unit area. So from this we get force is equal to pressure into area. See here, force, so this is point 1, this is point 2. So here we will be using all suffix 1s. Force F1, displacement L1. Now, but force is equal to pressure into cross-sectional area. Here pressure is P1 and cross sectional area is A1, and displacement. See, displacement is nothing but, distance is nothing but speed into time. Here fluid is entering with v1 speed, and in delta t time it travels a distance of v1 into delta t. So in place of L1 you write delta t. So we write P1 A1 V1 delta t. So this is work done on the fluid. This is work done on the fluid. Next, let us go for the second hand. Here work is done by the fluid. So let me write here work done by the fluid on RHS end. Here I should write at LHS end. Okay, work done by the fluid on the RHS end. I can write now directly. Here all the suffixes come to. But here I should put minus mark here. Why minus mark? I will tell you. Previously in previous lessons we discussed that suppose an object is there on the ground having mass m, on that gravitational force will be working, mg gravitational force will be working. See, on a floor I have taken an object, on that mg gravitational force is working. If you want to lift the body by some height, what you have to do? You have to apply some force, and that force should be applied force. FA means applied force, and that force should be at least equal to this force, gravitational force. And you move through some distance, then say you did some work. So here you are doing work against the gravitational force. Therefore here the work done is positive. Here the work done is positive because work is done by an external agency. Okay, now the object is here. Now you leave it there, then automatically it comes down. Now again work is done because some force is working on that and it is traveling some distance. So who is doing work? Gravitational force is doing work. So work is done by the gravitational force, not you or not I. So then that will be negative. If you do work, that is positive. If work is done by the force itself, that is negative. Just like that here, you are pumping fluid into the pipe, you are doing work, therefore here this is positive, and here the fluid is coming out itself. Work is done by the fluid, therefore that is negative. Now the net work done, this and this. But before going to that, let us compress this. How to compress? See here, V1 delta T. V1 delta T is nothing but L1, that is length. So this is length. This is length. And this is cross-sectional area. So length into cross-sectional area gives volume. So here in place of this you can write P1 delta V. Similarly here also. I think you must have expected here this as delta V1 and here delta V2. No, because we had this topic previously and we proved, we derived the equation. What is that? Equation of continuity. AV is equal to constant. See here A, the product of A and V is constant. You take anywhere, the product of A and V will be a constant. At point 1, at point 2. At point 1, A1 V1. At point 2, A2 V2. A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Now, another parameter is time. And time interval you are taking same here and here. Here and here you are taking the same time interval. Then automatically this value becomes equal to this value. Therefore, that's why we did not put delta V1 and delta V2. Those two are equal, becoming equal. Therefore, I wrote delta V, here also delta V. Okay, now net work done. You can take delta V common here. So, P1 minus P2 delta V. Okay, say this is equation 1. So we have calculated work done. Now part of this work done goes into changing the kinetic energy of the fluid, and the remaining goes into changing the gravitational potential energy. So some network is done, and a part of the network done is utilized to change potential energy of the fluid, and the remaining work is utilized to change kinetic energy of the fluid. Okay, now shall we consider change in potential energy of the fluid? Okay, see, this is gravitational potential energy, and see, gravitational potential energy. What is the formula for gravitational potential energy? mgh. So actually that fluid element is having mass delta m, therefore we should write here delta m g h. So in this way we should write. Now here delta m and here delta m according to conservation of mass principle. Now change in potential energy. See, mass of the fluid element will be constant here and here. G is a constant. Only H changes. Here the fluid element is at a height of H1 and here it is at a height of H2. So here delta H. So you can write delta M into G into H2 minus H1. Now for delta M, see, you know, density of the fluid. Density of the fluid, rho is equal to mass by volume. From this we have delta M is equal to rho into delta V. So substituting that here we get change in potential energy as rho delta V G into H2 minus H1. Say this is second equation. Now The remaining work done is utilized to change the kinetic energy of the fluid. So what is the formula for kinetic energy? K is equal to half mv square. So here change in kinetic energy. But actually here we should write here, in place of m we should write delta m into v square. See here we have written this is K. Now change in kinetic energy. So mass doesn't change, mass of the fluid element at first point and second point it will be same. Now velocity. So here at the left hand its velocity is v1 and at the right hand its velocity is v2. Therefore I should write here v2 square minus v1 square. This is third equation. Okay, so net work done a part of this is used to change its potential energy and the remaining is used to change its kinetic energy. So this is by work energy theorem. Work done is used to change energy. Now net work done is according to first equation, that was how much that was. See here we got net work done P1 minus P2 delta V. The net work done here we got P1 minus P2 delta V. Change in potential energy. Change in kinetic energy. See here again we should substitute here in place of delta m rho delta V. Okay, now substituting here, change in kinetic energy is equal to half rho delta V V2 square minus V1 square. Rho G H2 minus H1 plus half rho let us bring one suffix terms to left hand side. Rho G H1, here it is minus. First let us write here what is the first kinetic energy, no? Okay, here it is 1 by 2 rho V1 square, it is minus, and here rho G H1, it is minus term. Now take this minus p to that side. Here half rho v2 square and this plus rho g h2. At point 1, sum of pressure, kinetic energy per unit volume, potential energy per unit volume. At point 2, pressure plus kinetic energy plus unit volume plus potential energy plus unit volume. So from this you can write at any point the sum of the three energies is a constant. Hence proved. We had Bernoulli statement as we move along a streamline, the sum of the pressure, the kinetic energy per unit volume and the potential energy per unit volume remains a constant. Here energy came, but here we said pressure. So pressure means pressure energy per unit volume. You did not hear so far that word pressure energy. That's why here the pressure, just pressure is mentioned here. Actually this is pressure energy per unit volume, and we will see that whether this is pressure energy per unit volume or not. I will show you now. While after statement we derived the expression, and while deriving the expression we had a step that is net work done is equal to a part of work done is used to change its potential energy and the remaining is used to change its kinetic energy. And the net work done we wrote here P1 minus P2 into delta V. Here delta U plus here delta KE. Now expanding this, P1 delta V minus P2 delta V is equal to delta U plus delta K. Just enough. Now let us write this as change in potential energy means U2 minus U1. Change in kinetic energy means K2 minus K1. And this as usual. Now let us move the terms with one suffix to left hand side. P1 delta V here minus U1, here becomes plus U1, minus K1, here becomes plus K1, here U, here minus P2 taken this side, P2 delta V, and afterwards U2 and K2. Now this equation clearly tells you that our fluid is having three types of energies. It is having potential energy, kinetic energy and energy due to pressure. Now I should show that this is energy. Okay. Now along the streamline at any point the sum of the three energies is a constant. One is kinetic energy, another is potential energy, and this is pressure energy. Let me write here, this is pressure energy, this is potential energy, and this is kinetic energy. Now I must show that this shows pressure energy. Actually this is work done by pressure. This is work done by pressure. Now how we defined energy in the previous lessons or in the previous classes. Energy is ability to do work. So here pressure is able to do work. Therefore Here work done, see this represents work done by pressure, means automatically this becomes pressure energy. This is pressure energy. This is pressure energy. Now afterwards we derived expressions for potential energy and kinetic energy. See, U is equal to potential energy mgh. But here this fluid element is having mass delta m. Okay, here let us write delta m g. See, this is u1, no? So here comes h1. Right. Now so this is one kind. Afterwards density is defined as mass by volume, or delta m by delta v. Here delta m is there, no? From this you can get delta m is equal to rho into delta v. So here you can replace this with rho into delta v g h1. This is another way of expressing potential energy. Now let us go for kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is half mv square, but here our fluid element is having mass delta m. Here k1 means here v1 square, and in place of delta m you can write half day into v1 square. Now let us substitute these values on LHS. So P1 delta V plus here P delta V GH1, and here half V1 square. So this is at point 1. Okay. Now divide the equation by delta V. So these are the three energies. This is pressure energy, this is potential energy, this is kinetic energy. If you divide energy by volume, you get energy per unit volume. Okay. P1 delta V divided by delta V, rho delta V GH1 divided by delta V, half rho delta V V1 square divided by delta V. Gets cancelled. See, now we got P1 plus rho GH1 plus half rho V1 square, and on right hand side we get rho GH2 plus half rho V2 square. See, now we got our statement. Sum of pressure, potential energy per unit volume, and kinetic energy per unit volume is constant. So this is one way of expressing our Bernoulli equation. So the terms indicate in this each term indicates, in this expression each term indicates energy per unit volume. You can write an equation for Bernoulli principle in terms of an equation in which each term indicates energy per unit mass. Like that also we can write. So let us write here. Let me start with this equation. P1 delta V P1 delta V plus U1 plus K1 is equal to P2 delta V plus U2 plus K2. See here, this is delta V, but density is equal to mass by volume, or volume is equal to delta M by rho. So here P1 rho is equal to delta M by delta V, or delta V is equal to delta M by rho. So in place of delta V, let me substitute this delta M by rho plus U1. See, for here U1, first we got equation in terms of mass only. Let us write this delta M GH1, delta M GH1. And for kinetic energy, here first we got in terms of delta M, half delta M V1 square, half delta M V1 square. Now see, all these are energy terms. Divide the equation by mass of the fluid element. See, dividing the equation by volume, you get energy per unit volume, and dividing the energy by mass, you get energy per unit mass. So here P1 delta M by rho by delta M plus delta M GH1 by delta M, half delta M V1 square. Now what we are left with? P1 by rho plus GH1 plus half V1 square. So on right hand side we get P2 by rho plus GH2 plus half V2 square. So this is another Bernoulli equation. Here the terms are, each term indicates energy per unit volume, and here each term indicates energy per unit mass. So Bernoulli equation can be expressed in both ways.